Welcome back to the Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show. Time for your garden questions, our garden answers. Send it on over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or give us a call toll free coast to coast at 1-800-927-SHOW. 1-800-927-7469. Holly, this question is brought to you by Fleet Farm and fleetfarm.com.
This is called, I have black bottoms on my tomato fruit. What is it? How can I fix it? Is it toxic? What's the deal?
It is blossom end rot or blossom rot. And if you have been on social media at all for the last 60 to 90 days, there is a concoction of every type of different formulation in which one should be able to fix blossom end rot. It's the simplest fix possible, and that is simply watering. That doesn't fix the fruit on the plant currently. What has occurred is the calcium in the soil, which we all have plenty of, is not able to transfer from soil to plant because the soil is too dry. Properly moisturizing the soil will allow the plant to uptake the available calcium you have up the stalk and into the plant and properly develop the fruit. If you don't have it, it's going to do this. So the fruit that is on the plant now that has the darkened, sunken in bottom, take them off, throw them in the compost. Don't allow the plant to utilize the energy in order to fulfill the fruit that's going to be rotten on the bottom. If you water properly, there's about 90-95% chance that this will resolve the problem with the next set of fruit that's going to develop. Fruit develops between 20 and 30 days based from flower to harvest. So just water, regular watering. Keep the soil moist like a sponge. And you will not have to worry about that. Don't add Tums or calcium or powdered milk or anything else, Epsom salt, none of that. Just water the plant regularly and this will fix the problem.
Yeah, so that's your hack, right?
That's not a hack. That's just the truth.
It's the science.
That's the science.
All right, so our next question is, I'm in zone 4B, Minnesota. I have hardy grape, blackberry, and blueberry bushes, all hardy in my zone. I want to dig them up and replant them into large containers. Can they be left out during winter? I've had them for 2 years, so they're still quite small. Okay, well, yes and no here. You can dig them up and put them in containers. With the blueberries, you want to make sure whatever soil they're growing in, that it's transferred over the container, which is a difficult thing because container, you don't want to put native soil in because it will get compacted, so you need to acidify a soil. Blueberries like a pH of about 6. You can do this. You can put them next to the house. Kind of allow the house to have a little warmth to keep them from, getting too cold over winter. You can also, in combination with that, wrap the base of them with burlap, or some people use bubble wrap, pack them with straw, bust the bale off, and just make them, cover them with straw, mulch them with straw to you're not going to keep the plants or the soil, the root ball, 47 degrees all winter long. What you're doing is trying to take the edge off that bite that the winter has. And these plants are hardy. If they're growing in the ground, my advice would be leave them in the ground if all possible and move them somewhere else to where they can be in the ground. But if you have to put them in containers, that is an option which you can do. You don't want to bring them inside a garage or a barn. You want to keep them next to a house, outdoors, mulch them with leaves and burlap or straw, and do that. That's what you're going to have to do. Correct. So the other question is that I want to seed my lawn. When's the best time? I don't seem to know. It doesn't really say. So when's the best time? Okay, the best time to seed your lawn is September to October, or in early spring, March through May. You want to do it when the soil is moist and warm. Now you can't. I'm not going to tell you that. If you go buy seed at your local independent garden center and throw it in the yard and put the water to it, it's not going to grow. It will grow, but it's more adaptable in the cooler nights and slightly warmer days and moist in order for this to germinate. But you can try it now if you want to, get the seed now. If you see it on sale, buy the seed. But spring and fall is the best time to get it to germinate, get it to establish, and then it goes into dormancy in the fall, or in the spring it starts to
do its thing. But yeah, that's the answer. I have some maple trees that are growing in the back of the garden. I just saw they're a little taller, and I would like to move them rather than just dig them up and get rid of them. What is the best time to transplant them? Or is there a said best time?
Yeah, so when it comes to transplanting, whether it be it would be these 3 trees. It would be pine, oak, maple when dormant. You just want to, just like pruning, you want to choose the best time of the year, and that would be spring or fall. So in fall, you would transplant before the first frost, and in spring you would relocate, transplant before the tree starts sprouting. So you would have to kind of figure out when the tree would sprout in the fall, and then in the spring. And then in the fall when you're
and we're wanting to do this because trees are it takes a lot of energy for them to put leaves on. And by just digging them up July 7th and moving them to a different location, there's a tremendous amount of stress on that tree that now it's been uprooted. There's a certain planting shock that a plant has, and then it's got all the foliage in which it's going to try to support, which feeds the plant. It's the less impact or stress we can put on a plant by doing it in the proper time, even though it may be inconvenient for us, the better long-lasting effect the plant can have on us, whether it's the berry plants or a tree in the spring or the fall. All right. Let's see.
I'll ask this
Yeah,
one.
go ahead.
So I found a squash vine borer larva in my zucchini stem.
Good for you.
I dug them out. I saw some eggs too, and I got rid of those. What is the right thing to do? I dug them out. The plant seems to be doing well. Is that okay? Was that the best thing?
You did exactly what you're supposed to do. Excavate or remove the larvae from the stem, making a small incision in the stalk by not severing the stalk from the roots. You're going to have an open area, but that's where the larvae, the little worms that if left alone will kill your plant. You can do 2 things with that wound. You can leave it and it will callus a little bit and you'll be fine. Or some people will also take a handful or a shovelful of really good compost and just cover it so it's not exposed to the elements. So if you see, even before you see your zucchini plants begin to droop, your pumpkins, your watermelon, your squashes begin to droop, you want to check the base of your plant and see if there's been a insertion of larvae by seeing a dribble out or trickle down that looks like honey running or has dried coming out of the stem at about 3 inches above ground level. If that is the case, then you can slightly cut a chunk out of the stalk, and you should be able to see white larvae, which is the squash vine borer that will devastate your plant if not removed. Need more details or visualization on that? Go to our parent website, which is the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, and in the search bar, type in squash vine borer, and we've got a number of videos on how to properly extricate those larvae.
For more information, please visit the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com.